YouTube, welcome in. My name's Jim Deedlow, host of JED in the Region, local radio show here. And let's go straight to it on Wednesday, May 16th. We have an accident in the middle of the Borman Expressway going eastbound from Illinois to Indiana, right around Calumet, right before Calumet. It's backing things up to Torrance or so, or even past Torrance, all the way back to the 89 to the Bishop Ford split there, and that is bad. Now, the question is, do we have going westbound? It looks like there's some sort of a Gapers delay there also, and the Gapers delay is so both directions, east and west, between Calumet and the state line is where it starts, and it goes backward in both directions. So anybody's in that area, call us. We at 219-845-1100. Give us a little more information on it. Jimmy, bring it back up there. 294 looks pretty good. 80 going east and west looks good out past Joliet. Bishop Ford's starting to get a little clumpy as you get to the merge, but really not too bad right now. The Skyway and the toll road, the Borman, I-65, Borman for the most part in Indiana until you get by the state line is moving along well. And then I-65, US 30, and Klein Avenue are all moving along pretty well. Traffic is brought to you by Napleton River Oaks Honda, proudly serving Northwest Indiana with superior customer service. And am I good over here or what? Am I good over here? So I was switching cameras, but all right. What do we got in terms of the weather? High of 75 here today at the Strachan Van Til Studios in Hammond, maybe 74, 75. Then it gets cool again tonight. It gets down around 50. And then tomorrow, high of 75, clouds and sun. And then on Friday, not a bad, or on, let's see, tomorrow's Thursday. Friday, not a bad day, and high in the mid-70s also. It's even a little bit warmer than that on Saturday. So not a bad 4-day stretch. As you get into the weekend, you might have a little bit of rain, but looking forward for about 10 days. If you're hoping for that next burst of water to fix up your lawn, you already missed it. It's kind of come and gone, and we got a little bit on Sunday, maybe on a high in the 70s, 2 or so on Sunday. It's going to be a big discrepancy today. You could get 80 degrees in Crown Point, Crete, Lake of the Four Seasons, and then you could be at 65 as your high along the lake in Whiting. We're kind of about a third of the way there here at the Strachan Van Til Studios, so I would expect in the low 70s as your high. They keep on the Chicago weather, which is supposed to exaggerate everything. Just so you know, that's kind of the job description. Can you exaggerate? Yes, you can be a weatherman now, or weather woman. And they're saying 80 degrees. I don't know where that's at. I was looking at all the different models, and it's just not there, except for maybe in Naperville and maybe out in Algonquin. But along the lake, they're looking for a high of 65, is just like we are here in Whiting and East Chicago and Hammond and Gary. All right, there you go. Weather brought to you by our good friends at Carpenter's Local 599. Let's talk about that. I went to the Carpenter's Local 599 opening. You can see one of these days I'm going to learn how to do lavalier microphones, but I'm still not very good at it. I went to the opening. Now, you guys know on I-65, that big building, it says Carpenters, Millwrights, and Floor Coverers. I don't know if it is public knowledge yet of what is happening to the old 599 building there in Hammond, so I'll stay away from that other than to tell you there's changes going on. And did we announce that, Ryan? Was it been announced what happened to the 599 building? I don't know if it has, so I'll leave it there for now. But there's huge building along I-65. I think it's going to house maybe 4 or 5 locals, 599, 1005, and 2 or 3 others. They're from all around Northwest Indiana. They're all going to be in there. So there's 2 buildings if you're looking at it as you go northbound on I-65. The first building is the training facility, okay? The training facility is massive. And inside they got one kind of cool thing, and that is about basically how to build hospitals and do that correctly. But they have, just massive training facility. You could learn to build anything there, carpenter-wise, and that should help. They had a pretty good facility as it was in Hobart, but this will certainly be an improvement. And then there's another building that is to the north of it, and that is basically an administration building for all the agents and for support personnel. My uncle, Dan Brown as he's known in the carpenter's world, was at one time the senior agent here in Northwest Indiana, so I guess he would have had the biggest office there. But he is retired now and is actually the Maryville building inspector. And Sean Pettit, the Maryville Town Council, made sure to mention that the building inspector is one of their own brothers, carpenter's brothers. But my uncle was there. And I did a little video with Jim Slagle and Walter, I forget it, Hernandez maybe. And I talked to those guys, are both carpenters guys. And my uncle held the video, the camera, and he's such a carpenter, he kept tilting it up so that we could see the carpenter's logo on the wall. And so we're kind of low in the picture. But we went out there and I did a video. And you got to congratulate him. Bill Hassey Construction designed the building, did a job, and of course Union built on that. And let's see, Voskowski was out there. He had people from Justin Mike's office, and just kind of a big celebration. Now, here's how the carpenters work. Some of these, the unions all work, to be honest with you, okay? They, some of them are independent, some are based in Illinois, like the pipe fitters and that kind of stuff. Teamsters has a big local here, but on the building trades, the carpenters is basically part of a massive 3-state organization called the IKORCC. So I walked in this building and I'm like, I have never seen more carpenter type looking people I didn't know in suits. And they were from all over 3 states. I talked to a guy from Louisville, a guy from Columbus, guy from Monroe County, Bloomington area. So they have these IKORCC facilities all over the 3-state area. This isn't even one of the larger ones. They were telling me about some huge ones. And then they were talking about the massive training facility in Las Vegas, Nevada. And the guy from Louisville said, hey, you're the media, right? He goes, why don't you have the carpenters fly you out there and you could go visit it and give it some coverage and talk about it and do some videos. And I'm like, what a great idea. I'll go out. If any of you unions want to send me to your main hub, I'll go. Just give me the ticket and give me a hotel and keep me out of the off-the-strip places that I've been known to wander to when I get there. Because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas unless you go to the carpenter's main training facility, and then it doesn't stay in Vegas. You got to do some coverage on it. But all in all, I think a huge addition to Northwest Indiana. It's kind of Union Row over there. What was Sean Pettit of Maryville's calling it? Construction Row or whatever. Because you have the carpenters, IKORCC, and then right behind that you have Local 697 of the Electricians Union. Both of those places, by the way, are huge sponsors. Part of the reason is that this is a union-built studio, and we, unions should be marketing themselves just like businesses now. And I guess part of it is that I come out of a construction background, and then along with the laborers and the iron workers, they kind of form the backbone of a lot of my funding here. And I can't ever thank them enough. And, when they have a big deal like this, of course, I'm going to come out. Even if I wasn't doing this, I would come out because I believe in union labor, the value of it. I believe in men and women getting together and selling their labor as one. And I also believe in the safety. It's better. If you've ever worked in a construction site, it's one of the most dangerous places you can be anywhere. And not only is it dangerous working there, it's dangerous if you don't do the job right. It's even more dangerous later if the job's not done right. So the importance of training that these unions basically provide companies like Hassey Construction, Walsh Construction, Corellis Roofing, you know, many of my sponsors here, they have, you know, I'm not allowed to really mention any specific electrical contractor because it's part of certified electrician. It's like 32 contractors, but they're all on the same page. And there's a difference. And I've been on job sites when non-union labor will come out and hasn't been trained in the same way, hasn't come up through the same apprenticeship, hasn't spent time in the training facility learning how to do things and what all the safety rules are. It's very important. And I know there's a lot in a lot of I guess cubby holes. There's a lot of people that are kind of anti-union for whatever reason. I mean, sometimes it's just a political thing. But in the end, I believe that the union skilled craftsmen around here on the construction side make it a stronger area. And it makes it, you know, we're able to maintain the mills. We're able to maintain the refineries. We're able to put in this massive infrastructure, and that's almost all built on union labor. But anyways, I won't preach on that right now. I'll preach on some other stuff. What else is going on? Another investigation in the sheriff's department. And let's put this in context. Let me just tell you what the Times, how they do it. Lake County Sheriff Oscar Martinez confirmed his office has called for Indiana State Police to investigate excessive force allegations against 3 sheriff's police officers. Those 3 officers, all supervisors, hold the rank of lieutenant, sergeant, and corporal. I see Maeda Lawson, a 27-year-old woman, was arrested after the officers responded about 1:30 a.m. Wednesday to a domestic disturbance on Adams Street in Gary in the 2500 block. So 25th and Adams. I don't know what's on that corner, but you get the idea. So Lawson was arrested on suspicion of disorderly conduct, blah, blah, blah. She later filed an excessive force complaint against the county officers. The sheriff declined to disclose other details, citing a pending investigation. According to a police report, okay, here we go. Police responded after an officer saw a man and a woman screaming at each other before going in to I'm going to jump pages, thanks to the Times for covering this, and to their home. An officer spoke with Lawson, said she was arguing with the man and didn't need police assistance. He yelled profanity at the officers, so police told him to calm down. Eventually, police decided to leave and allow the couple, who were both appeared intoxicated, to go inside. They were returning to their cars. The man came outside, threatening them. The woman also came out. They began walking, but whatever. I get the idea. They tried to walk away. There you go. The dispute. Lawson allegedly approached the lieutenant in an aggressive manner while the man exited the house. The officer attempted to move the woman to the left. She pushed the lieutenant, shoved her out of the way. Lawson is accused of grabbing his face and scratching his ear. The officer grabbed her and she hit him in the left temple. Lawson suffered a cut to her forehead, a split lip, and other scratches. So, tough stuff, man. Going into domestic anything. I worked at South Lake Center for Mental Health for a while and had to, believe it or not, once in a while in little group sessions that I would run, believe it or not, we'd have some domestic couples. And that was one of the things that you were trained was, hey, man, and these can go in a lot of different directions. If it starts to get heated, you know, you got to disperse and, you know, you got to call it a day and you got to call in other people. And so I've seen it firsthand. Everybody's seen it firsthand in their own marriages and in their own lives. So immediately, though, Oscar Martinez goes right to the state police with this. Now, I don't know if that's protocol or if there's other extenuating circumstances that we don't know about it, that he's like, oh, man, this is kind of bad. We should have the Indiana State Police do it. Or if that's just how it's going to be every time there's going to be an excessive force complaint. So it's not good. The sheriff's department is, it's kind of weird. It's like you meet the officers and you see the work they do, and you're like, man, this is a great police force. And it is. And then you have all of the political wrangling that has been going on in it. And now you got the former sheriff in prison for 15 years, and you got the 2 deputies also, also guilty on various things, or at least pleading guilty. I think we're waiting on sentencing for both Tim Downs and Dan Murchak. So before that, you had Roy Dominguez running the department, and we had the federal government in here basically telling us we didn't know how to run a jail and get our act together, and it's taken years to kind of move away from that. Years, decade. It's taken a decade to get our act together there. So it doesn't help. And then you had the silencer scandal in the sheriff's department. Then we recently had this week, we had the sheriff's department guy who pleaded guilty by reason of insanity for running over a guy after a Gary Air show. So I don't know, man. This is just another one, and I'm sure other people are picking up the paper or listening to me right now, just kind of shaking their head, like, what's going on, man? It just doesn't make you feel good. And I'll tell you what, it seeped into the race. You guys could hear my own personal just lack of interest in the sheriff's race. I just didn't have it. And I don't know why. Just other than maybe just being around here. I mean, I was here when Rudy Bart was you guys know who Rudy Bart is? Well, you know who Rudy Bart was or is? I don't know if he's still alive. He was a sheriff in the mid-'80s, and somehow he rolled on everybody, and they put him in a witness protection program, but he had done some stuff, and I remember covering him. So this isn't a one-generation thing. This is generational about stuff going on in the sheriff's office or department, whatever. But on the whole, though, it's crazy, man. I know some of these guys. My wife's cousin is on the force forever. He's a great cop, and there's just like great cops up and down. And I don't know why we wind up with so many black marks on the sheriff's office. Anyways, leave it at that. All right, guys, AM 1230, WJOB. I want to talk a little bit about this, and I'll take your guys' calls here in a little while after I take a break here if you want to talk about anything. What is going on the south part of the county that, you heard Verley Suggs mention this yesterday. Eldon Strong was the county councilman on the south part of Lake County for a long time. And he got beat, at least apparently, in the election a week and a day ago, the primary election, and he got beat by Jorgensen. This guy was in here, Christian Jorgensen. He's maintaining a 2-vote win over incumbent Eldon Strong. Now, there's a couple things. I saw Dan Durnell last night. He is the other councilman, and I've known him since we were little kids. And, I brought this up, and we just kind of said, yeah, it's 2 votes, and that's about all he said. But somebody else in the group there said, that's the judge out of Hammond's husband. Right? Is that right? Ryan, can you check on this? It wasn't Durnell that told me that, but somebody else. And so, the judge out of Hammond that ran like the Sylvan Learning Centers, she really never practiced law, but sorry about that, an active Republican. And I was kind of, I was like, what's going on here? Does merit matter anywhere? And asking about her getting a judgeship in Hammond here. Doesn't. It didn't matter. So it was a party thing. And so I was kind of harsh about it. Then I realized that this Christian Jorgensen, who won that thing. I'm like, well, he came in here a couple times and he was really nice to me. Maybe he didn't know that I was, making fun of the whole process. But he seemed pretty, I was kind of surprised. I'm like, you don't have a lot. Honestly, there's not an influx of visibly competent people that want to run for these offices. It's just how it is. I mean, there's not that many people that want them anyways. And so I was like, oh, this guy's running for the office. He's taking on Eldon Strong. Good luck with that. I know Eldon has a lot of people that voted for him. But can you imagine if you're like Eldon's sister-in-law or nephew or good buddy who didn't wind up voting in the primary? I mean, there was such a low voter turnout, especially in Southlake County, that one vote mattered a lot. As a matter of fact, 2 votes or 3 votes, and Eldon Strong continues on as a councilman. So the one thing about the primaries is you could go and you can look and see who voted, right? And you could just go over and say, hey, Fred, you told me you were going to vote. You didn't vote. You realize that if you and your wife voted, I'd had a tie? Get away from me. I don't want to talk to you. Anyways, that's happening on a... now, Verley brought up, she thought that it had to be a factor that Eldon Strong at one point had voted for Jamal Washington to be a leader on the county council, and that may have cost him a lot of votes, and that ultimately may be why he lost that election. I don't have any information on that. All I know is that, according to reports all over the place, it's 2 votes. Eldon Strong out as the Republican nominee to go into the election on the South County. And then also, I ran into a woman by the name of Lisa Beck. And she is a former county prosecutor. And her husband, I think, is the head of the NIPSCO union. So Lisa Beck is a Democrat in the Crown Point area, and she is running against Julie Althoff, who is it Althoff or Althoff, who is the existing Republican state rep in that area. And I asked Ms. Beck, I'm like, hey, so, why are you doing this? What's going on? And I'm like, well, what is that district? And she goes, you know what? It's very close to 50-50. So will there be statewide money pouring into just basically a district race here in Crown Point if it's that close? I mean, Beck has a little bit of a pedigree there. She worked, I think she's an attorney and worked in the prosecutor's office. Althoff is certainly well known. So you've got 2 women squaring off in that race. The big race, though, is also I ran into Justin Mount of Senator Donnelly's office. And you're starting to see huge commercial television buys from Senator Donnelly's campaign already. And if you watch them on cable, Senator Donnelly is basically saying, hey, he's standing on a bridge and he says, hey, I'm here. I can bridge the gap between Republicans and Democrats. It's the same tune he has been singing since he's been on the air with me here locally many times. And I try to get him to rip on Republicans, but every time he comes on, it's another bill with another Republican. So he's realized that, hey, if I'm going to get elected in Indiana, I've got to show basically a friendliness towards Republicans. And that is his positioning. If you guys know anything about marketing, it's segmenting, targeting, and then you got to come up with a position. What is your position for your product or service? And Donnelly's position is that I'm the guy who works across the aisle. I'm the guy who's a problem solver. And I agree with that to some extent. I don't know who the better guy is, Braun or Donnelly. But I do know this, that what President Trump said when he came in there and said that Joe Donnelly is part of the liberal radical agenda, it's just not authentic. I've tried to get the guy to, I kind of remember Conrad Dobler. He'd always try to stir things up, and I'd try to get Donnelly to say something about Trump or say something about his fellow Republican Senator Young, or before that, whoever it was, Birch Bayh, or not Bayh, I forget who it was right before him. And he would do it. Oh, yeah, we get along well. Oh, what about this guy? Oh, yeah, we have a good working relationship. Oh, yeah, I had lunch in part of the Donald Trump thing, and I disagree with the president, but he's the president and this and that. So everything's very diplomatic in dealing with the Republicans. So watch that race, man. And you've got Braun and Trump trying to paint Donnelly as some sort of liberal radical. And then you've got Donnelly trying to paint himself as the most independent Democrat there is ever in the world. And let's see what works, huh? Anyways, that's all the political analysis I could do for one morning. I'll be right back here on the voice and face of the region. Let's hear from St. Catherine Hospital. They have an excellent cardiac care unit.
Do you have a family history of heart disease or diabetes? St. Catherine Hospital Cardiovascular Prevention Center providers are offering free assessments to help determine your risk for heart disease and other related medical conditions. On Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 9 to 11:30 a.m., you can stop by the center at 7217 Indianapolis Boulevard in Hammond for assessments like an ABI leg circulation test, blood pressure, body mass index, random glucose assessment, and more. You must be 18 or older, and walk-ins are welcome. You have only one body. Let St. Catherine Hospital of Community Healthcare System help you take care of it. You can also call 219-392-7CVP to book an appointment today.
Rush Radiosurgery deploys revolutionary technology in the fight against prostate cancer in just 5 outpatient treatments. With radiosurgery treatment for prostate cancer, there is no pain, no surgery, and you can go back to your normal activities right after treatment. Prostate cancer does not fight fair, and neither should you. For more information, contact Rush Radiosurgery at 312-942-4600 or visit us at rushradiosurgery.com.
No case is typical. Results will vary by patient, and there's no guarantee other patients will experience these results. Come out to Napleton's River Oaks Honda during the Honda Memorial Day sales event and save big on all new 2018 Hondas in stock, including Civics, Accords, CRVs, and Pilots. This weekend only, the first 25 customers get a free smartwatch with a test drive. Come find out why you always get our best deal at River Oaks Honda. As always, Indiana residents pay Indiana sales tax right off 8094 on Torrance Avenue or online at riveroakshonda.com.
Second to none since 1931.
Must be 18 years or older with valid driver's license. Limit 1 per household. No purchase necessary while supplies last.
Good morning, everybody. AM 1230 WJOB in Hammond, Indiana. Also 104.7 FM. Also streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. The voice and face of the region. And I wrote a long blog entry this morning. You guys can follow my blog at jimdelo.com. And you can start to follow some of our videos at jedstream.com, which we're working heavily over the summer here, using a number of we have a huge advantage here in that we have a seemingly endless stream of candidates to intern and work here over the summer on both the broadcasting side. For the first summer, I am taking on two marketing interns and maybe a third one, and we're really kind of hitting it as a business, and I'm trying to make it a little bit of a case study where you kind of just follow the evolution. Why not? What do I have to hide? Typically, when you're in business, you try to hide your secrets and don't tell anybody what you're doing, but I'm like, dude, I'm on the radio every day. I'm on the video. I write a blog. What am I going to hide? You know what I mean? So if you want to follow the story, and 3 or 4 of you do on the blog, I started the story today. And we're going to basically do an experiment over the summer here. And I've allotted $10,000 to establish a marketing department with Purdue Northwest students leading the way. Anybody who is looking for marketing people in Northwest Indiana, I can tell you that there is one qualification, one stipulation that kind of qualifies someone to work for your company, and that is if they've taken Matt Hansen's ad campaigns course at Purdue Northwest. I've gotten to know Matt over the years, and he has won the national competition. His students have won it, and if they come out of Matt's ad campaigns course, somebody from P&W comes over and wants to work for you in marketing. Just say, hey, did you take Matt Hansen's ad campaigns course? And they say yes. Well, then they're probably a leading candidate. Anyways, so I've got 2 of them that I've hired, and I'm writing about it, and I'm just going to follow. How do you introduce a new product? How do you introduce a new product to the business community? And that is streaming video. We've been doing it a long time. Now we're going to introduce it as a viable way to advertise your business. I told the story about Friday was the very first time we went into a place and we laid everything out, and the person on the other side of the table who knew her stuff said, hey, that's fine, but we want to lead with your streaming video. We watch you all the time, and we know that there's good value there. And I'm like, I know that too. Now we just got to approach it as a business. So over the summer, it's going to be a case study. You can follow it on my blog at jimdeedlow.com. All right, let's take a look at traffic. 294 around the city looks pretty good, and 80 going east and west, except for one spot, is moving along pretty well. And that is the accident spot between Calumet Avenue and Torrance. And if you're coming from Illinois, you're in bad shape. And if you're going from Indiana to Illinois, you're in bad shape also. It's worse coming from Illinois. I got to believe that's why Zube is calling. Zube, how are you?
That's why Zube is calling, and now Zube is really irritated and frustrated after hearing what I'm ahead in store for.
You know, Zuby, why don't you get off? Why don't you get off at?
Please finish that sentence.
Why don't you not get off? How's that sound? I don't know what sounds better or worse. You know what? I don't know if you have any real options there, unless you were to take 57 south to 30, and that's.
I'm probably 300 or 400 yards just past the Lincoln Oasis.
Oh, you're screwed.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're screwed. There's nowhere to go.
What do we, any idea what I'm in for? Is it in the left lane, right lane? What's going on?
I don't know. Anybody has
right now are at a crawl.
Well, our best information, it's a pretty bad accident in the 2 center lanes. So you can either I just, now that you got me on it, everything I'm saying is going to come out wrong. But just move over to the left or the right. It doesn't matter. If you go, you can go both ways, and it'll be the same. It'll be the same result because it's right in the center. So
somewhere Alexis is shaking her head right now.
You know what? Yeah, she's not liking it. She's like, doesn't like when I innuendo. But here's the deal. If anybody's coming from Illinois into Indiana, I'm serious. If you know somebody coming in this way, I would have them get off and go south on 57, which is, before whatever. It's way back there. And then get off on US 30 and then take US 30 all the way into Indiana. There you go.
All right.
Well, you're just going to have to sit there for a little while. What do you want to think about while you're waiting in traffic?
You know what would be totally awesome? Next time you pay some bills and go to commercial, play a little Vinyl Dead, maybe like 10 or 20 seconds worth to get me through it.
You're in, buddy.
I'm thinking a little. I know you've got to have a Mars Hotel album there, little Scarlet Begonias.
You know what? My entire collection is concerts.
Okay.
I do not. I used to do a lot of the vinyl, and I have some of them here, and I'll have to look again. But most of what we're done is just live dead from tapes. So any specific song?
Whatever you're feeling like. Here's the $1 million question. I'm rolling a little bit now in the far left lane. I'm passing 394 on ramp. From now until I get off on Kennedy, if you were to play a Terrapin Station, am I home before the song ends?
No, not close.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was on Mars Hotel? Was it U.S. Blues on there?
I think U.S. Blues. I think Scarlet Begonias. China Cat's not on there, is it? No.
And let me look it up. No, it's not. China Doll is. You know what? Loose Lucy's on it. That's kind of an underrated song by the Grateful Dead. And Ship of Fools. Isn't that a Bob Dylan song, Ship of Fools? And yeah.
Not sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll get you something. I'll play you something because you're going to be there a while. Thanks a lot. Talk to you.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
And let's go to Jack.
Hey, left shoulder's about the only thing open. Four-wheeler ran into the back of a flatbed tractor right there.
Oh, my gosh.
So the four-wheeler's gone. Flatbed tractor survived it, believe it or not. It's one of those things where you're not supposed to do. But he's on the right shoulder, so that screwed everything up too, you know.
How bad does it look on the about for the four-wheeler?
It's not a four-wheeler anymore. It's like, you know, you take those Pepsi cans or whatever, and you smash them up in one of those smasher recycler things. Kind of like that.
Well, that does not sound good. And
no, but hey, is it backed up to Halstead or what?
Yeah.
Okay, so I say if you get off on Halstead, take that down too. You can do that, you know.
Well, let's see. I get it backwards. Is if he's coming from Illinois, is the quarry is before Halstead, right?
No.
The quarry is after Halstead?
The quarry is between Halstead and Lincoln Oasis.
Oh, it is. All right. I got it backwards. So, yeah, he's already in the middle of the quarry there. So, I think he's stuck all the way to Torrance, right?
Well, 394, you go down that. Yeah, but you can move over that right lane and get off on Torrance, you know, or 394, go that way.
You know what? He could do that, but, it's going to be slow. Zubik, you could get over and get on the 394, but I think, and then go down to wherever, Glenwood, Dyer Road, or to US 30. But you still got to wait a while to get to that 394 is the point here.
Well, yeah, but you can always go through the Oasis, come out on the other side, and get out over that way.
Say that again?
Get off on the Oasis.
Yeah.
Go around through it, come back, and get back on, and you're right there at 394.
How do you go around? You get off on the Oasis, right? And you get off on your right. There's no connection to turn it around. How do you turn around?
You don't turn around. No, you don't turn around. You keep on going east, and you're actually on the get-off ramp right there, and you just follow that 394.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying...
The ramp is right there.
No. Like on some of these Oases, like they said, no.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they go under, and you're able to turn around in them, and, they use them for, like, UPS.
There's not really that many like that. The only one I know about is over at the 158-mile marker on 55 North and 55 South in Illinois.
Yeah,
a few of them.
The toll road one right before you go into Ohio. You can turn around there. At least I'm told that. I've never done it. All right, man. Hey, what's going on with the Cardinals, by the way?
Pitching, injuries. Pitching's good. Injuries is hurting them. Wainwright's about done. And Yadier Molina. That's the heart and soul of the team.
Yeah, it really is. And, I think the Cubs are it in that division. Pittsburgh's still trying to hang on, but the Cubs are just showing how strong they are.
So is Milwaukee, though,
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I just don't see it being – I see the Cubs after the All-Star break just taking this division and just killing them. I think you got the Phillies right now, right? Yeah, that ought to be a good game tonight. All right, thanks a lot. Talk to you.
All right.
See you. 219-845-1100. What's going on in your guys' world? We'll talk a little bit of sports. We've got Will in here, but first let's take a phone call with you guys. The big issue is this big wreck on the Borman, and from what we've been reading and following, it is pretty bad for the four-wheeler that ran into the semi. It's kind of. Let's talk to Jeff. Jeff, what's going on, man? Jeff Smith is the Hammond Fire Department chief. What's going on?
Nothing. They're getting ready to open a little bit. I just talked to the battalion chief out there. The state was kind of trying to reconstruct it a little bit, and Birch just showed up to get the car or the truck out of there, I should say. But we did transport one guy to Christ in Oak Lawn Trauma Center, so pretty much all I could tell you.
So one guy to Christ.
The truck driver was fine.
The truck driver was fine. So what is it, an SUV or something?
I was watching TV and I saw it on TV. I mean, I heard about the call, but then I just saw the Channel 5 was above it. It looked like an SUV. It was an SUV.
So that's actually in Hammond where this accident happens, right?
Yeah, I mean the Borman's in Hammond. I mean, that's our call. Everything over the river turns into Munster.
So who's responsible for responding to that?
We are.
You are?
Mm-hmm. And then Lansing, see, the problem is once you get past, if it's eastbound before Calumet Avenue, it's hard for us to get to. We got to go all the way to Torrance, turn around, come back. Sometimes Lansing will even get the call, and we might meet up on scene at the same time, or both cities will be there. But that's a tough call when it's between the state line and Calumet Avenue if you're going eastbound.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of, and then if it's all backed up, you got to go all the way down to Torrance, and then you guys got to fight through, try to use the shoulder to get over there.
Yeah, try to, or we'll, whatever, make the people go to the shoulder, and we'll stay in the lane. But yeah, I mean, that's a tricky one for us for Lansing too. I'm sure if it becomes in between, if it comes in past state line, west of the state line in Illinois, and Lansing gets a call, they got to come all the way to Calumet Avenue to turn around to get back to it, to go back west.
Yeah, that's a tough spot there. And I mean, it's the same kind of argument we have when, sometimes that area isn't all that salted and cleaned off with snow also because it gets kind of forgotten.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Fire Chief, thanks for calling in.
All right. No problem, Jim.
Yeah, so the big news this morning is this big accident on the Borman, and let's see what Dave has to say. Hey, Dave, how are you?
Hi, Jed. Westbound's a mess. I dead stopped twice between Klein and Kennedy in the far left-hand lane. So I don't know if it's just gapers up there. Just, to me, if you don't know how to drive, don't get on the road till 10 a.m. Just, FYI. It is dead now. It's coming up to the boulevard, dead stop.
So in both directions, it is dead stopped. You heard from Zube. He's coming eastbound. He's over there by Lincoln Oasis. And that is, he's not moving. And you're not moving at Klein Avenue. That's
on occasions, I might do 10 to 15. Then it comes to a dead stop because everyone jams it, hits the brakes, hits the gas, hits the brake, hit the gas, hit the brake, and just roll and everything will open up. But it's
Dave, this accident actually happens in an area that you talk about a lot, and Chuck Pullen talks about a lot. Chuck,
they stand westbound right at the state line there, but actually right before just east of the state line, where I mentioned it to Gladys once. You can't always point the stinky end of the stick at INDOT and Army Corps, but I mean, that's where that expansion joint is, and there just seems to be a lot of wrecks in that eighth of a mile stretch. I mean, it's just, especially going westbound, where Chuck rolled his car. But there just seems to be a freakishly amount of accidents there. Oh, yeah. I'm in the swell right at Purdue Woods here. I'm sure everyone knows what I'm talking about when you're going westbound, and I'm looking west. Nothing but red lights, dead stop.
Do you want me to recite a poem or something for you while you're waiting in line? I mean,
you know what? I'm not a big Grateful Dead song, but I think Zube might have had it. Just play something, man. Just walk me off, get me off the edge of the cliff.
You got it,
man. That would be a great name of a song, wouldn't it?
Say it again.
Get me off the edge of the cliff.
Get me off the edge of the cliff. You know what? Here we go with that. Get me off again. Get me off.
Oh, jeez. Your wife is shaking her head like Zube said right now.
Oh, well.
So's Billy. So's Billy. Billy is as well.
All right, man. Hey, thanks. I'll talk to you. The only way I can play music is to make it go quiet on that. So,
there's enough dead air when you're on. So that's. Play something.
All right, man. Here we go. Let's just first. I got one for you. You might not like it, but no.
At Corellis Roofing, we recognize that our employees are our biggest asset.
I don't know if I picked roofing or roofing kind of, fell on me. My name is Phil Youngie. I am a project manager here at Corellis Roofing. I came in here as a roofer. Here I am 20 years later, managing $1 million projects. If you're willing to put the hard work in, willing to do your time, the opportunities are wide open here at Corellis Roofing.
If you're willing to work hard, we have a place for you at Corellis Roofing.
Ogren Insurance has been serving the area since 1947 and provides insurance for life, home, auto, business, and more. If you're looking for one-on-one service, the best rates, knowledge, and experience, Ogren Insurance is your agency. Our number one goal is to provide you with the coverage you need at the most competitive price. To learn about the insurance solutions and services we offer in Indiana, Illinois, and Michigan, call 219-933-0076 or see our website, OgrenInsurance.com. Ogren Insurance, 6929 Holman Avenue in Hammond. Accidents happen. Be protected with Ogren Insurance.
You know the great thing about Indiana weather? You never have to wait long for it to change. All 4 seasons on any given day. So when it's calm, sign up for power outage text alerts from NIPSCO. And the next time Mother Nature is in a mood, we'll send you a notification if your power goes out, along with an estimated time you can expect it back on. Just go to nipsco.com/alerts. We'll keep you covered out there.
JED's Garden Family Restaurant, located at the corner of Klein and Ridge, is Griffith's locally owned family restaurant with a down-home feel and made-from-scratch favorites you will love. Open daily from 5 a.m. to midnight, JED's has you covered with breakfast omelets, salads, stir-fry, seafood, and steak sandwiches. In addition to our award-winning lemon rice soup, 4 additional soups are served daily. Along with our recently expanded spirits menu, Mondays are half-price margaritas, and Wednesdays are $1 off domestics. Mention WJOB for 20% off your order. We'll see you at JED's at the corner of Klein and Ridge.
I'm pretty regular right around 7 o'clock, just so you know. 294 around the city looks good. 80 going east and west. Once you get way out west is okay. The Bishop Ford is probably about a little bit lighter than normal, and that might be because of the big traffic I'm going to tell you about in a second. But it's still bad from, say, 125th on through the merge and into the southern end of the Dan Ryan. And just a bad traffic day all together. So kind of a minor watch the Bishop Ford there as it goes into the Dan Ryan. Skyway looks good. The toll road looks good. I-65 looks good. US 30 looks good. Your problem is a big accident we've been talking about all morning. And that you just heard Hammond Fire Chief Jeff Smith say they transported a guy to Christ Hospital. Jack is a longtime caller, and I think he travels overnight to St. Louis and back, if I'm not mistaken. But he was saying that the guy in the car or the truck didn't look good. So a bad accident. It's in the center lanes going eastbound from Illinois to Indiana right after you get into Indiana on the Borman. That has it backed up almost all the way to 294. So well past the quarry and Halstead and all that stuff in Illinois. You got a long way. Let me see if I can get the key on this map and see how many miles that is, but it's at least 3 miles. And then westbound, it's backed up from basically from the state line all the way to Klein Avenue. So you can get to Klein or get close to Klein before you have to slow down. So if you have any other options you can use, get off at Klein Avenue. And certainly if you're trying to get on at Calumet, and actually at Calumet you can almost, you can probably get on at Calumet and go eastbound and be fine. So like if you're leaving from Munster or Hammond and you need to go to South Lake Mall, or you need to go to Sand Creek Country Club, or you need to go to South Bend, you should be okay. But I wouldn't get on in Indianapolis or Kennedy and go westbound. All right, there you go. Traffic brought to you by Napleton River Oaks Honda, proudly serving Northwest Indiana with superior customer service. And also, let's take a look at the weather. This one's brought to you by our good friends at Laborers Local 41, of which I am a proud alum of that fine union. right now at the Strachan Van Til Studios. By the way, it's 99-cent pineapple. Am I reading that right, Ryan? Is that what you're saying? I don't. What? 99 cents pineapple. 99-cent large pineapples and 99 cents large cantaloupes. That's almost impossible. I can't believe how you would make any money on that. It's got to be a loss leader. And then also tilapia or basa, either one of those, is $2.99 a pound. That's pretty good. High of 70, basically a high in the 70s for the next 5 days. Maybe on Sunday it'll rain, but for the next 4 days, you pretty much have sun and clouds. Today, it's much cooler near the lake. So here where we're at along the Borman at the Strachan Van Til Studios at Purdue Northwest, you are, we're still kind of close to the lake. But if you keep going south on 41, or you go south on Klein, or you go south on I-65, or on 394, and you're going to get quite a bit warmer south of the Borman than you are north of the Borman. And we're kind of in that middle area where we get a high of 74. But in Whiting and EC and Gary, your high could be just right around 68, 69. And then in Lake of the Four Seasons, it could be 80 degrees. So it's that time of year. You know what it is. And so weather is brought to you by Labor's 41. The markets, 10-year notes, by the way, reached their highest yield in 7 years yesterday. That's dragging on the markets a little bit. If you guys follow this at all, I mean, the thinking, at least, is at higher interest rates, that makes it harder to invest, and and it's not cheap money anymore. And sometimes that can, what you really want is you want cheap money that you can take, go in and do business, and then make 10% on your money when you're borrowing it for 4%. And that's basically business. But if you're borrowing it for 6%, you're making a lot less money, and that's kind of dragging on the markets yesterday. There was a little bit of a drag on the markets. They were down 193 points. Let me do a quick look at what they're doing overnight. It was mixed when I left at 5 o'clock in the morning, which means there was nothing going on. And pretty much that's where it is now. The NASDAQ is unchanged. The Dow's down about 10 points, so nothing going on. And we got a new guy from Ball State University, Will, what's your last name again?
Hatzel.
Will Hatzel. And Will's going to tell us about what's going on in sports. What's up, Will?
All right, well, these sports updates are brought to you by Johnny's Tap. In high school baseball, Chesterton beat Lake Central 3-0 thanks to a Tommy Benson home run. Crown Point shut out Portage 4-0. Crown Point's Merrick Bonner threw for 6 innings, 2/3, striking out 6 and only allowing 3 hits. Hammond steamrolled over 21st Century 16-1. Hammond's Reggie Wright Jr. led the way with 3 runs and 6 RBIs. Hanover Central takes care of Griffith 8-5. Hanover Central's Jose Sanchez scored 3 runs. Valparaiso blanked Maryville 4-0. Valpo was led by a dominant pitching performance by Matt Jindra, who went 7 innings, striking out 11. And then Whiting beat Lake Station 12-2 in 5 innings. Whiting's Nino Barbosa was hot again, going 3 for 4, tallying 3 runs and 6 RBIs. In softball, Bishop Knoll defeated Wheeler 5-3. Bishop Knoll's Carly Sanchez went 2 for 3, scoring 2 runs. Griffith beat Hanover Central 10-8. Jessica Terzariel led Griffith, going 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs and 4 runs. Hobart edged Andrean in a good one, 16-15. Hobart Sonola had a big game going 5 for 5, tailing 5 runs and 3 RBIs. Lake Central defeated Michigan City 10-5. Lake Central was led by a dominant pitching performance by Alexa Pinarski, who struck out 10 in just 4 innings. Lowell breezed by Hebron 11-1. Lowell's Haven Stanley won 6 innings, striking out 8 and only allowing 1 hit. In national news, the Cubs rallied to beat the Atlanta Braves 3-2 after scoring 2 runs in the 9th. The White Sox were blown out by the Pirates 7-0. The Bulls acquired the 7th pick in last night's NBA draft lottery. And then the Celtics grabbed a dominating 2-0 series lead over the Cavaliers after winning Game 2 last night, 107-94. And the Lightning bounced back in their series against the Capitals, winning 4-2 as well.
He's Will Hatzel. Will, how do you like it so far?
Pretty good. It's only day 3, but I've enjoyed working here, getting some nice experience and having a good time. Still getting a little bit used to waking up early in the morning. Haven't had an early shift like this for work yet. yet, but it's okay.
What do you want to do?
I'm hoping to do what you're doing one day. I'd love to sit in the throne and hopefully talk about sports or something like that one day. Dreaming big.
Well, so you want to be on the air.
Yes.
Okay, you don't want to be behind the scenes.
I mean, that's fine. I'm sure that's where I'm going to start because you always start from the bottom, and I know producing is, a very important role too. So I'll be happy wherever as long as it's, in radio and in sports, hopefully particularly. But
there's there's a couple things. First of all of these tools here. There's that booth over there. There's time in the evenings here, and so basically, it's your playground if you want to, do a show or a podcast or whatever to get some resume experience. I always put it back on the interns to say, hey, listen, what is it you want to do? Come in here, do what we tell you to do for a while, and then after a month or so, you got to figure out what it is you want to do. Or say, hey, can I do a little show? Can I do a sports update? Can I do whatever? And then usually the answer is yes, as long as it doesn't cost me more money. So, you want to do a show. I'm not going to pay you to do a show or anything, but you can, there's time in the evenings. There's podcast, and people come in. Some people use that booth over there, and they do podcasts. But all that stuff adds up. It's on you, and you got to figure out, especially if you want to be on the air, one thing is to say I worked at the college radio station. It's another thing to say that I worked at a commercial radio station. And for whatever reason, people like to hire people who worked here at WJOB. I don't know why over the years. Ryan, can you get that woman on that is the head producer of channel of NBC, Lester Holt's News Now? Somebody told me she worked here, or they said it in the paper. I don't remember her. And, I feel bad. But think of all the, there were so many interns that summer, and if she's the one I'm thinking of, then I know who she is, but she might have been somebody else. And that experience, the people who hire know it's a big difference from working at your college radio station from working at a commercial radio station. First of all, they know you're probably going to get yelled at, and that's what's going to happen here, and I'm not going to pay any attention to you, and you'll get a little intimidated, and I might forget your name for like a month. So they know that because that's how it would work if you went to Chicago.
Mhm.
You're like nothing, okay? I don't treat you like nothing on purpose. It's just, I worked in construction at the Board of Trade, and, apprentices, it just take a while before you remember their name, okay? But it all comes back to you. There's plenty of opportunities here over the summer. Make use of them, okay?
All right, we'll do.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. You're done. Let's go on. 219-845-1100. Anybody wants to call in? I had Streetwise. I lost him, and I had two other callers, but I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there just going off on things, and that's my fault. All right, what else is going on? Any comments on the two ballots? The fate of 19 ballots rested in the hands of 5 people packed around a conference table. The Lake County Board of Elections and Voter Registration was charged with deciding Tuesday whether those 19 ballots would count toward any of the Democratic or Republican races. Question on the validity of those ballots depended on proper photo identification, blah, blah, blah. But they all come down to Chris Jorgensen versus Eldon Strong, the candidate on the South End. Are we going to have a hanging Chad thing, or what exactly is going to happen here? Before we do that, the big story of the day is this accident on the Borman. We need an update of that from Zube. Zube, how are you?
All right, so I don't know where exactly this accident was. They must have cleared it out because once you get past Torrance Avenue, I'm rolling. I'm going 65.
According to Hammond,
they must have.
Yeah, they were getting rid of it. It was almost done.
Okay.
When we were talking, it was almost open.
I looked. I didn't see remnants of anything in any center lane, so it must have cleared out. So due to my patience waiting in traffic, I think I'm going to go reward myself. I'm going to get off of Calumet here and hit some Taco Bell up.
I knew you were going to get off somewhere.
I'm frustrated. I don't feel like going home, washing up, making some food now. It's pure lazy mode. I'm going to reward myself.
What exactly are you going to order?
a number 5 with extra nacho cheese on the nachos with the hard shell taco supreme, 2 extra hard shell taco supremes, a shredded chicken beef Mexi Melt, mini Mexi Melt, and a shredded beef mini Mexi Melt with a Pepsi.
All right, so when you take one of those tacos, how many bites does it take you to eat one of them?
Depends how hungry I am.
And
no
it's
more than 3.
no more than 3 bites per
No.
taco.
Yeah.
Have you ever done it in 2?
Never really tried. Are you challenging me?
I want to see. Can you eat one of them in 2 bites and then call me tomorrow and tell me how that felt? You know what? The reason I say that is my wife has really been getting on me lately for eating so fast and taking such huge bites.
Well, that's because you want to spend more time with her, right?
That's exactly it, man.
See?
Way to go, dude. I like it.
Here you go. Come on, man.
No,
my best is a Big Mac 2 bites.
Oh, that's just gross, though.
I know. This was like when I was in the early 20s, so it was on a bet, a dare, whatever. I won.
You did it in 2 bites, really?
Oh, yeah.
Huh. That would make for some good video. You know that, right?
Well, you know who you got coming in Friday morning at about 7, but
I don't know. Let me work out with Ryan. Yeah, I don't know if we can get a Big Mac. Can we get a Big Mac at 7 in the morning?
What would be equivalent to a Big Mac? Like 6 or 8 sliders smushed together?
No. Can you eat a slider with 1 bite?
Oh, yeah, come on, child's play. Seriously, did you really just ask me that?
All right. Could you eat 2 sliders with 1 bite?
If I smush them together, they're smushable.
They are smushable. Actually,
I'll do a double bacon cheeseburger slider in 2 bites.
Actually, if you were going to eat 2 sliders, you'd probably take off the top of one and the bottom of the others and just make a double hamburger out of it. You know what I mean?
No, you smush them. Man, people must think I'm like 400 pounds.
They don't realize you're like a Bobby Barbell, and he's actually a pretty built baseball player looking dude.
I'm in the drive-thru. You want to do the order again?
Yeah, go ahead. Once you get up there, let me know. I just want to hear.
She laughs at me.
See. This is Zube at the drive-thru at Taco Bell in Munster, and as soon as evidently.
All right, I need let me get a number 5 with extra nacho cheese on the nachos. Can you make that taco hard shell? Pepsi. None of that diet stuff. And then I need to add on 2 extra hard shell taco supremes, 1 shredded chicken mini quesadilla, and 1 beefy mini quesadilla. That's it.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
You're my hero. You and my Uncle Danny.
Mild sauce, please.
What kind of hot sauce?
Just went with mild. I don't need to be waking up with heartburn.
Yeah, that's exactly what that hot is so good, but man, it does give you
some
heartburn.
Some lady in a minivan just pulled up next to me in the drive-thru, honked, gave me a thumbs up, pointing she's listening to me on the radio.
You're gonna be a Taco Bell celebrity any moment now. All right, man. We're gonna set that up for you to eat a Big Mac in here. And the Big Mac in 2 bites is the biggest challenge that we've heard. I can't see that happening. We might have to do it in the afternoon one day.
Once I accomplish a feat, I get my WJOB hoodie.
You got it.
That I've been requesting for 7 years.
All right, man. I'll talk to you.
All right.
219-845-1100. Hi, Bill. How are you?
How are you, Jed?
Good. It's a beautiful morning in Northwest Indiana.
Well, they're all beautiful when you're alive, you know. You know what? This obsession with food is a little troubling. You know, in America, we could feed half the starving people in the world with the food we throw out.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that kind of, I hear all these phone calls about people, what they eat constantly, and you have the food channel. It's perplexing.
Well, I think with Zube this morning, he just sat in traffic for half an hour, and he's just frustrated, and he just wants to take out his frustration on a Taco Bell feast.
That's great. Taco Bell in the morning. That's a healthy breakfast.
What do you have against Taco Bell?
I'll discuss that in a private conversation. I'm not going to do that on the air. I have very good reason to have some exception with them. But I wanted you to know I'm making some progress on a Pulitzer Prize-winning book, JED and the Judge, The True Story of Jim Dietlow and the Honorable Alexis Vasquez Dietlow. I've even spoken to it about Judge Alexis.
Uh-oh.
She said she wants 90% of the profit. I get 10%. What you get is you get your name mentioned in the book.
Why, thank you.
She's a hard negotiator.
You know, I've heard that 90-10 split mentioned before, like when we used to argue, and she's a divorce attorney, and she'd be like, all right, you want to go our separate ways? You want 10% of your stuff, or you want all your stuff? Leave it there. I'm going in the wrong direction right now. Let's see how Jackie's been doing. How you doing this morning, Jackie?
Hey, hi, Jimmy. You are so cool. I'm kind of losing what I wanted to tell you. Oh, first of all, you didn't use your horn this morning.
I did, but it's so loud.
It doesn't matter.
I felt like I was going to wake people up at 5:40 in the morning. I did it twice when a big truck came by. It's so cool. It is so cool.
My dad used to do that at my son's football games. So, I mean, he would do it constantly. Oh my goodness.
Oh, he was one of them. Where'd your son go to grade school, or where did he play high school?
Hammond High, quarterback.
I was going to say that was like.
Caston.
Oh, okay. That's your son?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Very good football player.
Yes, and he went to Valpo. Oh, all of the above. But what was my other point?
I don't know. What we were talking about Taco Bell.
Yeah, Zube. He's so cool.
He can eat it too, man. And he's not that large.
He's making me hungry.
You ever eat a Big Mac lately?
Not lately.
When was the last time you had a Big Mac?
Probably a month ago.
All right, when you go to McDonald's, what do you order?
Quarter pounder, no cheese, and a fry and a Coke.
Diet Coke or regular?
Regular. I know. I went. I need to get off the sugar.
So, when you go to Wendy's, what do you get?
I haven't been there in a while.
Oh, really? You don't go to Wendy's?
I know they're very good. My father loved it.
So so you go to McDonald's mostly? You ever go to Burger King?
I do.
Really? You get one of those flame broiled Whoppers?
I have never had one.
Really?
Really?
You never had a Whopper?
Have to order one now. And dude, you canceled your appointment the same day I canceled my appointment at Andy Colter-Writers.
Oh, I bet they were mad, huh?
No.
So both of us are walking around with dirty teeth. I got dirty teeth too. You know that film you get after like 6 months of not getting a teeth cleaning?
Okay.
So we both got it going. This is a nice thought for people, right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, Jackie. Good hearing from you. Thanks a lot.
Good morning.
Talk to you. 718 in the Calumet region. 219-845-1100. You know, everybody's, other than this huge accident on the Borman in which somebody may very well having a really bad morning, it's sunny out. It's not bad. It's 50 degrees here at the Strachan Van Til Studios. Pineapples and cantaloupes are both 99 cents at all, 19 or 20 Strachan Van Til locations. I mean, life is good. You know what I'm saying? The Carpenters opened up their new facility yesterday in the Union Construction Trades. There's a bunch of, I guess, kind of excitement. So why not celebrate by having a couple tacos, some nachos, a burrito on the side, and then some refried beans just for the heck of it, like a dessert almost. You know what I'm saying? 219-845-1100. Let's see how Lori's doing. Lori, how you doing today?
Hi, Jed. Good morning. I drove through the Taco Bell. I didn't know what Zube drives, so I just want to see if he's still there, because on Wednesday morning, I go to Panera in Munster. It's just down the street.
What do you order at Panera?
Oh, I love it. I could eat at Panera every day. awful. I love their breakfast souffles. They have like 4 cheese, or they have spinach and artichoke, and or the bacon egg. But I like the 4 cheese mostly. But if they don't, I'll settle for the other ones. And then for my husband, I'll get him an egg over easy on this brioche bread, and it's really good too. So with bacon.
You know, I have never eaten, maybe one time. I just don't think of Panera as a breakfast place. I don't know why.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's really good. You'd like the souffles. I don't know if you get into souffles. It's like a real nice soft crust with egg in the inside, and maybe you probably would be too small for you. Maybe you like a larger breakfast or something.
So a souffle is like a little pie crust with
Yeah.
egg in it, right? Almost like a
Yeah.
quiche.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, like a quiche.
And quiche and souffles, and I like eggs. I mean, I'll eat anything just about except for like red meat. I'll literally will eat anything. Wife and I started dating, and one time she came in the kitchen and she's like, "What are you doing?" Like, I'm eating some green beans. She goes, "You're eating green beans right out of the can?" And that was when I started to become domesticated. But still, I'll pretty much eat anything. But souffles and quiches remind me of, all right, you took a pie crust, you put some eggs in it, and then you sat on it. You smashed it down. You sat on it with your jeans. So anyways, that's another story altogether. Well, good to hear from you, Lori. Zube drives, I think, a pickup truck.
Yeah, I saw a black Tundra, and there was, but I don't know what he looks like or anything. But like if he was talking, and he said somebody in a van went by and gave him a thumbs up, and I was right at the drive up at Panera. I'm like, darn it, I know I'm down the street from him, and I was gonna honk at him and say, Zube, scream out, but no, I didn't want to do that. I didn't know if that's who it was, but there was a guy in a black pickup. So.
It might be him, but then again, you don't want to go up to the wrong black pickup with a guy in a bad mood who's been driving across the country all night and he's stopping for breakfast. You don't want to go up and call him. He might think a Zube is like a bad name. Hey!
Yes, you never know. He might be calling some bad Russian name or something.
Exactly. What's a Zube? I don't know. All right. Thanks a lot, Lori. Talk to you.
Take care, Jed. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Talk to you. You're such a Zube. Hey, why do you always have to be such a Zube? Hey, go Zube yourself. All right, what else you guys want to talk about? 219. We had a guest at 7:05. So Ryan, the producer, once again giving me a phantom guest. That's why I don't promote them sometimes. Debbie's guest. That was one of Debbie's guests. I'm sorry. Oh, that was my dad. My dad set it up. Well, Dad, what do you got to say for yourself other than Purdue? When I was a kid, we would go to the Purdue games, and my buddies, once in a while, we'd have 4 tickets. My dad say, hey, get a couple of your friends, and we'd go to the games, and we'd have a lot of fun, or so I thought. And then after a couple of years, my buddy's like, Paul Roberts, hey, man, you want to go to the game? I mean, we started, maybe I was 9, maybe time we're 12 or something. He goes, no, I don't want to go. I go, what do you want to go to the game? We always have fun, and we go run around Purdue and throw the football around and look at college girls and all that stuff. Maybe we were 13 by then, so we're starting to think that girls running around in tank tops and no bras is like a good idea. So, I don't want to go. And finally, I get him to say, well, you got to tell me what it is. He goes, it's your dad and that megaphone thing he uses. I go, what are you talking about? They used to hand out these like gold megaphones at the games, and my dad they'd used to do a cheer. It would be go, here we go, Boilers, here we go. And my dad would take the megaphone and use it, and I would even get in on the cheer, but Paul thought that was kind of corny. Here we go, Boilers, here we go. Now they do Boiler Up. It used to just be, here we go, Boilers, here we go. Anyways, Bill gets a redo. What is it, Bill?
I got cut off. I just wanted to follow up with a few brief points. You know, those women are tough negotiators. I was at Freddy's Steakhouse with my wife a few years ago and first ordered a glass of wine, and it's, oh, you're drinking again. And I'm like, oh, no. It's the dreaded participle, ing, so I said, all right, you win. If you let me have this, just one glass of wine, let's have a peaceful evening. So she ordered And then the waitress said, "What do you have, Mr. O'Connor?" And I said, "I'll have a double Bombay Sapphire Martini on the rocks and make it snappy." The war goes on, doesn't it?
There you go. That's a very good instruction in marital therapy. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Here's another instruction in marital therapy.
Men, are you taking Viagra or Cialis for ED? ED should not stand for expensive drugs. If you're taking Viagra, talk with your doctor about Sildenafil. Now you could get the same active ingredient in Viagra in generic 20 milligram tablets for less than $2 each, saving over $30 per dose. Available at Vito's Pharmacy. Call us 219-228-7200 or visit us at VitosPharmacy.com.
Vito's Pharmacy.
Carpenters Local 599 joins with other Carpenter locals to build the local economy and has been doing so for over 117 years. We are proud to be a member of the Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio Regional Council of Carpenters, which is threefold: training, professionalism, and partnership. We also offer some of the best benefits in the industry. To find out how to become a member of Carpenters Local 599, contact us at 219-942-0518 or log on to ikorcc.com.
Theo's Steak and Seafood sets the standard of fine dining excellence. Delicious USDA prime meats and steaks, along with the freshest seafood in the area. Celebrate your special event with friends, family, and associates in our private dining room that can seat up to 125 people. For information, call 838-8000 or theoshighland.com. Also visit our other restaurants, Prime Steakhouse, Umi Sushi and Lounge in Crown Point, and Ted's Family Restaurant in Calumet City.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Frank J. Mervan, North Township trustee. I would like to share with you why my coworkers and I love working for you at the North Township trustee's office.
Hello, my name is Nancy Kowalski. I'm from Highland. I am a case manager. I help people in need. It is very self-rewarding to help someone prevent either eviction or a NIPSCO disconnect.
My name is Patricia Wolf. I am the manager at Oak Hill Cemetery. I love working at Oak Hill because it holds so much of Hammond's history. Not only are the founders of Hammond laid to rest there, but hundreds of veterans, including those who fought in the Civil War. I like knowing that I'm entrusted with caring for everybody buried there.
My name is Cindy Rivera, and I am the Education and Employment Coordinator. Why I like working for the township is I feel that my position allows me to change people's lives.
Again, this is Frank J. Mervan, North Township trustee. If you or someone you know needs assistance, contact us today. Remember, at the North Township trustee's office, we connect people with services.
With the weather finally starting to warm up, that also means ants and other bugs are coming. Rapid Pest Solutions is local and family-owned and does complete residential and commercial pest control solutions. Get rid of those pesky mosquitoes and take your yard back this summer. We have custom programs to address your specific needs. Check out our website at rapidpestsolutions.com. Call Rapid Pest Solutions at 219-922-2000 and mention you heard us on WJOB. You'll receive 25% off your first visit. Got ants? Get Rapid.
Hey, what are you guys doing? AM 1230 WJOB in Hammond, Indiana. Also 104.7 FM, the voice and face of the region. We're live on YouTube, live on Twitter, and live on Facebook. And we're from the Purdue Studios. Pretty fancy schmancy here. 3 camera angles here I think they're using. And I'm actually going to go out today to see Rich, or tomorrow, to see Rich Christakis at Alsip Holman Nursery. He's got a marketing firm that he uses, or he's set up, and they have a drone. And one of my summertime goals is to get it where I'm standing out in the morning and doing JED in America, and we do it on a drone. So I'm just letting you guys know. Anybody wants to sponsor that, give me a call. You'd be the drone sponsor. Drone me, baby. Go Zube yourself. Son of a Zube. Anyways, 729 in the Calumet region. Let's take a look at traffic. Big accident this morning with injuries and perhaps more on the Borman. It looks like it's been moved away, and things are moving away through there okay now. But 294 around the city. It's a little bit tough now, guys, as it cleared up on the Borman, and that seems to have caused some trouble on 294 from Cicero all the way up to the Stevenson. Good luck if you're going to O'Hare right now. If you want, I'll play some Barry Manilow for you in just a second to get you through that. But 80 going east and west looks pretty good. That accident on 8094 has been cleared, but you have residual pockets that are bad. But really, for the most part, it's the eastbound going Illinois to Indiana where the accident was is actually okay. Now there's some residual going westbound from, say, Klein Avenue to Calumet, and that is still it's still kind of slow through that area. The Bishop Ford and the Dan Ryan really aren't that bad, and part of that is that the traffic's still kind of stopped up right down the block here. And but you know, if you don't want to spend the money, you'll wait a little bit at the merge, but it's not too bad. Skyway and the toll road look good, and I-65 and US 30 are all moving along pretty well. And traffic is brought to you by Napleton River Oaks Honda, proudly serving Northwest Indiana with superior customer service. And this weather is brought to you by our good friends at Rush Radio Surgery. And if you're having somebody in the family gets a cancer diagnosis, you want to go to rushradiosurgery.com and check it out there. And there's a number, and you can call them. And they have all sorts of services. Especially right now, they are working on their prostate. They have some of the top facilities in the world right there at rushradiosurgery.com. And in terms of the weather, it's going to be kind of a bifurcated weather forecast. If you're along the lake, your high is in the upper 60s. If you're here along the Borman, your high is about 73, 74. And then if you're, it's Route 2 or Route 231, in that way, you're going to be close to 80 degrees. Mostly sunny, though, today. Just a gorgeous day. I feel like taking my shirt off right now and going out in the sun, even though it's only 51 degrees here at the Strack and Van Til Studios on the campus of Purdue Northwest. It is 52 degrees at Local 395 of the Ironworkers in Portage, and it is 51 degrees at Local 41 of the Laborers in Munster. And tomorrow, clouds and sun and a high of 76. So you've got it getting up to about the mid-70s and then getting down into the upper 40s in Whiting, Gary, Chicago along the lake, Hammond. And then it gets down to about 50, 51 here overnight. So it gets kind of cool. So really beautiful weather to leave the window open if you can maybe go to bed with some sweats and a sweatshirt on and wake up and it's 50 degrees out. I would just crack the window. I wouldn't give it one of those wide open pulls. But just not bad sleeping weather. 5 days of kind of clouds and sun. But Sunday, maybe you have some rain and a thunderstorm coming in. But for the next 4 days, we may get a lot of this high school baseball and softball action in. And what else? The markets are really doing nothing going into an 8:30 open. It is unchanged on the NASDAQ, and it's down about 10 on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Tom Wolfe died at the age of 88. He wrote Bonfire of the Vanities. Let's see what the Wall Street Journal says about Tom Wolfe. I don't know. Bonfire of the Vanities is kind of, the movie wasn't very good, but the book was decent. It really was. I didn't like the movie at all. Tom Wolfe, the best-selling alchemist of fiction and nonfiction, who wrote The Bonfire of the Vanities, The Right Stuff, and countless other novels and works of journalism, died of pneumonia in New York Monday. He was 88 years old. He was a nattily-clad Southern gentleman whose trademark white suits and polite demeanor shrouded a rapier wit, a relentless work ethic, and an unquenchable curiosity about human nature. He threw himself into research, gravitating toward provocative subjects such as race relations, money, and faith. Now, an observer and literary disruptor without peer, Mr. Wolfe helped create new journalism in the 60s. Now, yeah, we mostly know him for The Right Stuff and for Bonfire, but that's not where I was first introduced to him, at Berkeley in the early 80s. He gave a talk there one time, and he wore a suit, and it was hot and whatever. This vivid vein of journalism, with its immersive reporting and visceral writing, removed authorial distance and plunged readers into events and subcultures. In The Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test, Now, that was published in 1968. He chronicled the drug-addled hippie lifestyle without taking the drugs. 2 years later, his Radical Chic and Mawing the Fleck Catchers lampooned limousine liberals trying to be chummy with Black Panthers. That's actually really good, by the way. I haven't read that in 30 years. I read Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test maybe 10 years ago. He was a very courageous guy. So, I don't know. Some of you guys out there liked Tom Wolfe. He was afraid to say it how it was. Basically kind of critical of the hippie culture with the Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test. And there you go. That's enough for now, because we have someone on the line who's doing a lot of good in the community without that rapier wit. And that is Joyce Cook. Joyce, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Why do you always have so much energy? Don't you know how early it is in the morning?
You know, I just wake up feeling good, happy to plant my feet on the ground, and thankful for every day.
You do realize you're calling the most sarcastic person in the region, right?
That's not what I've heard.
Okay, well.
That's not what the word on the street is. You're a sweetheart.
You know what? You have fake. You got fake news. Hey, listen, Joyce. What's going on with Nazareth Home?
I am so excited to tell you about the Nazareth Home. It is our 4th annual Nazareth Home charity. Our theme this year is Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. And in that vein, we have got some jewelers who donated beautiful diamond jewelry that will be used for our raffle. Our luncheon is on Sunday, May 20th, is coming up, so get your tickets ready. And it is at Villa Cesare in Cherville. It starts at 12:30, and lunch is at 1. If you wear a fancy hat, Jed, you will receive 10 free raffle tickets for this beautiful jewelry. How about that for a gift?
What kind of jewelry are we talking here?
Oh, we're talking a diamond necklace from Albert's. We're talking diamond necklace, bracelet, and earrings from James & Sons. A diamond bracelet from Highland Jewelers. So we've got some great things coming on. Fashion show with fashions by Eco Chic. They are always wonderful to the Nazareth Home. And we've got some fun things happening.
You know what? The 8th grade humor in me is going to leave off entirely any mentions of the kind of fashion shows I've been to in the past. So describe what the fashion show is. Is there a runway and then the women wear the clothes, or is it just a jewelry fashion show? What kind is it?
No, it is both. Eco Chic outfits our models with beautiful, stylish outfits that include both casual and formal. And Eco Chic is an upscale consignment shop, so anything that you see will be so affordable you won't be able to pass it by. The models will also be wearing jewelry. There is a runway. We have an MC that will be narrating. We have wonderful butlers. Kurt's a butler this year. He's going to be pouring mimosas. We have gentlemen helping ladies on and off the stage. Bob Dixon from Dixon's Florist is going to be our shuttle. He is going to shuttle the ladies through the parking lot. This is full serve. I mean, we're talking Broadway. We're talking Broadway with this. We've hit every note.
All right, Eco Chic is in Dyer, it looks like.
It is, and they are so, you hear about Eco Chic, but you don't really get into the meat and potatoes of Eco Chic. They do so much fundraisers for people and charities. They do things for the Don Brackhouse Society. It's just good people, it's just good doing good, Jed.
Good doing good. I like that.
Good doing good, yes.
Can I write that down? I got 2 things to work with today for a poem.
I got that copyrighted, but I'll loan it to you.
You did not copyright that.
How do you know I didn't?
Because I'm the one who makes up stuff on the air. Typically, people who call in don't make stuff up because
I have my own air.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm breathing my own air right now, Jed.
You are definitely breathing your own air.
Yes, I am.
So where can someone
I talk to you about that forecast, though, for Sunday? Can we do something about that?
Yeah, you know what?
Let's make it sunny.
You know what? Let me tell you, sometimes, in the weirdest of ways, a little grayness of skies can actually push people inside sometimes.
Well, that's a very good point.
So
Now, did you just make that up too, or
I did make that up. as a
Okay,
matter of
okay.
fact.
Well, we'll believe that one.
Okay. So here's the deal. Somebody wants to go to this. They're listening. They're like, man, I'd like to see this Eco Chic. I can't. And what they're saying is like, I can't believe they got Albert's, James and Sons, and Highland to be mentioned in the same sentence. So I might want to go to this. And where do they get tickets for this?
You know what? At this late date, why don't you call me directly, and I will take care of you personally. My number is 219-712-6505. Tickets are only $45 for a beautiful afternoon. Kurt is sponsoring a professional violinist for me from the Northwest Indiana Symphony. So it's going to be top rate.
Kurt who?
My husband, Kurt Cook.
I know. I'm asking you to mention and tell us about it and stuff.
Oh, I could go on all day about him.
Well, I mean, you guys do a lot of good in the community, and is Kurt done now?
Not quite.
When is he? I mean, has he made it? Is this official, or am I stepping over?
It is. No, bittersweet.
Tell people what your husband does.
My husband is the building commissioner for the city of Hammond, building commissioner extraordinaire. I think he's done a fabulous job in his position, and the mayor will echo that as well. The mayor's been very kind and very complimentary of Kurt, and very supportive as well. So I'm very proud of him.
He's going to be done though soon, right? I bet a lot of people don't know
We're going
this.
on to our next chapter.
When is it? I know he's probably got a lot of vacation, but when are we looking at as like a last day?
End of June.
End of June. Okay. So I don't know if I hope I'm not stealing Kurt's thunder, but he's been there a while and has been a mainstay in the city of Hammond here, and he's done at the end of June. And I was telling you guys the other day that you guys have both done really good work in your jobs and so forth, but really what you're known is your support of the Nazareth home. And you guys both echoed that you were okay with that. Well, tell people what the Nazareth home is, and then, tell us why you and Kurt are so behind it.
The Nazareth home, we came upon the Nazareth home probably about 12 years ago. The Nazareth home is a foster facility located in East Chicago that takes in crack-addicted babies, abused babies, abandoned babies, medically challenged babies. These are life's and God's smallest creatures, and they need our most help. Kurt and I take care of a lot of charities and a lot of organizations, but the Nazareth home is our heart because they need so badly. These children come from the direst of circumstances, and if we can do something to help them along, so be it. And that's our responsibility in life. Everyone has that responsibility. God didn't just drop you here and say, okay, here you are. You've got to earn your keep and do something good for someone or the world. Make a difference.
All right, you're talking good doing good. I'm going to say good begets good. How's that sound?
That's exactly perfect, and that's absolutely accurate.
$45. It sounds like with Albert's and all these diamonds and Eco Chic and a violinist, it's going to be worth every penny. And you don't have to know. You don't have to be part of a group or anything. From what I understand, I've not been to this, but it's just a pretty good group of people, and they're pretty welcoming. So if you just want to go, all you got to do is call.
Sure. We sell single tickets, and you know what? Everyone is so welcoming that you will feel like you've been among friends for years.
219-712-6505. It's this Sunday. It's supposed to rain. You're not going to be able to work in your yard. So why not go to Village Cesare? Village Cesare is in Cherville, not too far from the Showplace Theaters. Easy to get to, and this is a great cause. And Kurt and Joyce will both be out there. Anything else?
Oh, you're the best. You are our friend. You've been the Nazareth home friend for years, and we certainly appreciate that.
I'd much rather be known as the most sarcastic guy in the region, but thank you on that. And
you're welcome.
And have a good fundraiser on Sunday. Thanks a lot, Joyce.
You bet.
Talk to you.
Bye,
Bye.
Jed.
All right, be right back. AM 1230 WJO. Blah, blah, blah.
Come out to Napleton's River Oaks Honda during the Honda Memorial Day sales event and save big on all new 2018 Hondas in stock, including Civics, Accords, CRVs, and Pilots. This weekend only, the first 25 customers get a free smartwatch with a test drive. Come find out why you always get our best deal at River Oaks Honda. As always, Indiana residents pay Indiana sales tax right off 8094 on Torrance Avenue or online at riveroakshonda.com.
Second to none since 1931.
Must be 18 years or older with valid driver's license. Limit 1 per household. No purchase necessary while supplies last.
You know the great thing about Indiana weather? You never have to wait long for it to change. All 4 seasons on any given day. So when it's calm, sign up for power outage text alerts from NIPSCO. And the next time Mother Nature is in a mood, we'll send you a notification if your power goes out, along with an estimated time you can expect it back on. Just go to nipsco.com/alerts. We'll keep you covered out there.
Hi, this is Ellen from Quick Scripts Pharmacy, and here is your countdown of the top 5 reasons to switch your prescriptions to Quick Scripts in 2018. Number 5, your hometown pharmacy just got bought out by a 3-letter big box chain. Number 4, you go to your pharmacy and don't recognize anyone. Number 3, it takes 3 weeks to get a medication you ordered yesterday. Number 2, they no longer take your insurance and you just found out after you left the emergency room. And number 1, you just really love our staff at Quick Scripts. Wishing you a happy and healthy 2018 from our Quick Scripts family to yours. Stop into any one of our 3 locations serving Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana today.
Hey, let's hear from the laborers, huh? Laborers Local 41, together with Indiana Laborers Training Center and our signatory employers, provide state-of-the-art instruction in all areas of the construction industry, from hazardous material handling and environmental remediation to road construction and highway safety. Remember to slow down in construction zones and that the Local 41 members working there are mothers, fathers, coaches, and mentors. Laborers Local 41. We build Indiana in more ways than one. Traffic is the big number today, and it has been one huge accident on the Borman between Calumet Avenue and the state line. It was actually on the eastbound lanes, still causing a little bit of slowdown going westbound through that area, but it's been cleaned up, so that should hopefully erase itself momentarily. Eastbound has actually gotten a lot better. And but 294 around the city is bad from Cicero on up to the Stevenson. 80 going east and west out by Joliet looks like that's moving along pretty well. The Bishop Ford moves really well up until about 115th Street, and then you get a little tight through the Merch, and then going into Jane Byrne, and that's tough from basically 47th on in. So no matter how you get there, it's tough as you approach from the south end of the city. Skyway looks good, though. The Borman Toll Road looks good. It's that westbound Borman still has a little bit of an issue. Skyway and Toll Road are moving along, or Skyway and I-65 and US 30 are moving along pretty darn well. And what do you have in terms of the sponsorship there? You know who sponsors traffic here. They make it all possible, and that is that, you know, companies come together. How do you make a radio station? How do you create a new industry here in Northwest Indiana? That new industry is streaming media. You can watch me right now on YouTube, right now on Facebook Live, and, of course, on Twitter. And I'll be adding another way soon, just so it'll make it even easier for you. But that is from dedicated sponsors like the folks at Napleton River Oaks Honda. If you're looking for a car, start right there. It's good people. A lot of them are from like Griffith Highland that work there in the sales department, in the finance department. And remember, you pay Indiana sales tax at Napleton River Oaks Honda. In terms of what's going on in the weather, this one is brought to you by our good friends at Carpenter's Local 599. They're moving their offices into the new headquarters on I-65 there. You've all seen it. That opened yesterday, and I'll talk about that again in just a moment. I talked about it earlier. A high of 75 today right here at the Strachan Van Til Studios. and it'll be mostly sunny today. Tomorrow, high of 76, clouds and sun. And then by Friday and Saturday, highs of 72 and clouds and sun. By Sunday, some rain and a thunderstorm and a high of around low 70s. So really not a bad 4 or 5 day forecast all the way up to Sunday. In terms of Strachan Van Til, new flyer came out. And Ryan pointed this out because he knows I love pineapple. And that the pineapples are now 99 cents each. And there is the cantaloupes are 99 cents each also. Anymore you buy a pineapple, you got to let it sit for a few days. They're kind of greenish. But I bought a pineapple on Monday of last week, and then I went to New York City for 3 days for the streaming video conference. And then I got back, and then on Sunday, so 6 days later, I cut the pineapple, and it was right on the cusp of getting a little too old, but it was like right perfect, So I cut it, and I put it in a big Tupperware in the refrigerator. Then I noticed my wife took it to work, so I didn't eat any of it except for the one piece while I was cutting it. So I think it's time to get over there and buy like 3 or 4 pineapples and then just cut them at different stages. If you buy like a really green one and then a more golden one, you can cut the golden one, let the green one sit a little while, and then you basically have pineapple for the next week. How does that sound? I'm telling you guys how to do that. Hey, don't forget today is a big show for Gino Sferrusa, Regent Bandstand at noon today. Gino has Phil Angotti live. Now, Phil Angotti is one hell of a musician. And he is, I don't know, is he going to play or is he going to talk or whatever, but he's going to be on with Gino live in the studio down at the old studio where Gino does his show at noontime. Phil Angotti, and I hope I'm getting this right, and I'm not cross-referencing things, but Phil Angotti is, what is he to Kenny? Is he his cousin? Is his cousin, right, Ryan? Yeah. So Kenny Angotti, the landscaper out of Highland, out of the east side, he had invited me one time to go up and see Phil do an all Rolling Stones show. And I don't have a lot of regrets in life, but not seeing Phil Angotti do the all Rolling Stones show, especially after Kenny described it at length to me, was a disappointment. Was unable to go. Was somewhere up on the west side or the northwest side of Chicago, or near in the city, but right outside of downtown somewhere. And he's really. I have a CD that Phil Angotti had put together, and I used to play some of it on the air when I could, when I was able to play music. Now we're on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and we can't play music during the morning show unless we turn down the volume on the video, so we very rarely play some music. Maybe I'll get a little bit of Phil Angotti before we go, and I think it's Munster Chamber of Commerce at 8 o'clock, and then at 8:30 it is School City of Hammond. So I'll be getting out of here at 8 o'clock. Right now we have Will Hatzel with some sports. Will, what do we got?
All right, sports updates are brought to you by Johnny's Tap. In high school baseball, Chesterton beat Lake Central 3-0 thanks to a Tommy Benson home run. Crown Point shut out Portage 4-0 after Crown Point's Merrick Bonner threw for 6.5 innings, striking out 6 and only allowing 3 hits. Hammond steamrolled over 21st Century 16-1. Hammond's Reggie Wright Jr. led the way with 3 runs and 6 RBIs. Hanover Central took care of Griffith 8-5. Hanover Central's Jose Sanchez scored 3 runs. Valparaiso blanked Maryville 4-0. Velpa was led by a dominant pitching performance from Matt Gindra, who went 7 innings, striking out 11. Whiting beat Lake Station 12-2 in 5 innings when Nino Barbosa was hot, going 3 for 4, getting 3 runs and 6 RBIs. In softball, Bishop Knoll defeated Wheeler 5-3. Bishop Knoll's Carly Sanchez went 2 for 3, scoring 2 runs. Griffith beat Hanover Central 10-8. Jessica Terzariel led Griffith with going 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs and 4 runs. Hobart edged Andrain in a shootout 16-15. Hobart Zanola had a big game, going 5 for 5, tailing runs and 3 RBIs. Lake Central defeated Michigan City 10-5. LC was led by a dominant pitching performance by Alexa Pinarski, who struck out 10 just in 4 innings. Lowell breezed by Hebron 11-1. Lowell's Haven Stanley went 6 innings, striking out 8 and allowing 1 hit. In national headlines, the Cubs rallied in the 9th to beat the Atlanta Braves after scoring 2. The White Sox were blown out again by the Pirates 7-0 last night. The Bulls acquired the 7th pick in last night's NBA draft lottery. The Celtics grabbed a dominating 2-0 lead over the Cavaliers, winning 107-94 in the Eastern Conference Finals. And the Eastern Conference Finals of the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Lightning bounced back in their series against the Capitals, winning 4-2.
He's Will Hatzel. Thanks a lot to Johnny's Tap. Hey, Ryan, I'm going to play a little Phil Angotti with Band on the Run for you folks on the radio. On the video, sorry, we got to turn down the volume for just a little bit. Turn it. Get out of here. I'm getting out of here in a couple of minutes. And I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. The big news around here, still a little bit of confusion on whether Eldon Strong's 2-vote lead is going to hold up. Ryan took my newspapers away, so I'll have to wing it. I'll just do what I do most of the time, make stuff up. And what's that? Jorgensen's lead. There it is. That's what happens when you don't have a newspaper in front of you. Jorgensen's lead over 2 votes. It looks as if it's still hanging around there. I still can't believe that Christian Jorgensen beat Eldon Strong, or at least as it looks right now. Eldon Strong had a strong hold on South Lake County Republicans. Christian Jorgensen, I met him in here. I was told that he is the husband of the judge here in Hammond, and he, he's been in here a couple times. I didn't quite realize. I didn't put the 2 connections together. Also, the Carpenters opened up their facility yesterday, that big facility on I-65, all sorts of luminaries in the Carpenters construction world coming from all over the Midwest. That is known as the IKORCC Training Center, Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, IKOR, Regional Council of Carpenters, I believe. And I got a tour of it. It is an amazing facility. You can put several basketball courts inside. They have a facility for how to build hospitals and, keep it clean. And they have, your normal construction stuff, scaffolding and all that stuff. And they have a nice facility it's 2 buildings, and it's kind of a campus. It's becoming kind of union campus over there. It's too bad that the carpenters and electricians kind of don't have like a walkway or something, or maybe they do and I'm not aware of it, because you could start to create kind of like construction union campus. I went to Google one time in, I don't know where it is, somewhere around San Jose, it's Silicon Valley, and what struck me was the campus atmosphere, the strength of all those buildings being near each other and connected by walking paths and people going back and forth. Of course, the weather's a lot better there, but I guess I never really thought about it. You could get a kind of a union campus. Is there one of those anywhere in America? I think I just thought of it. Let's go to Dave from Crown Point. He's a final call. What's up, man?
You mentioned that Jorgensen's wife. A couple times you mentioned Jorgensen's wife is the judge in Hammond.
Is that
Now,
right?
Just so memory serves correct, that's the judge who Tom McDermott closed her court when she was appointed upon Judge Harkin's passing, correct?
Yes, although I don't know if it's still closing. If that's what that is, I guess I'm still trying to put it together, but that's how I understand it.
Just to clarify that story, because it's been a while, that was the court where basically Tom McDermott said he's going to take his ball and he's leaving because the state appointed a Republican St. John judge to take over that court in Hammond. I just want to clarify for my own benefit that's the same
Well, I
court.
think you're defining it. I think if I remember correctly, and it's been a long time, the mayor had talked about closing that court for a long time, and then Harkin died.
But he never did because Harkin was his buddy, and Tom made it perfectly clear that court was losing money for years. But just for the simple fact that Harkin was his buddy, he refused to close that court until they appointed a St. John attorney that happens to be a Republican to be the judge to replace Harkin in that court.
And once again, just for the record, I do believe, I don't know as if it was ever stated as such that I didn't close the court because he was my buddy. I believe that there was the word respect for Judge Harkin was in there also. I don't know if they were buddies or whatever. So I don't mind understanding what happened. It's just that, you know, if you define it in those terms, it tells an entirely different story.
Up until this point, Dominguez dusting off a white Mike Brown in order to beat a black Mike Brown, or not beat a Mike Brown, but to fool the constituents in Gary to vote into voting for a white Mike Brown. I thought that was the best act of sheer politics here in Lake County. Mrs. Jorgensen backdooring McDermott and getting her husband on the county council seat has to be right up there with the
No, that's good. That's good.
That's fantastic stuff. Have a great day.
David, that's good. Let's end right there. I'll be right back. I will be right back. Munster Chamber of Commerce is in. I'm out. And I'm going to end with Phil and Gotti with Here, There, and Everywhere. He's going to be on today at noon with Gino Sfatarusa. And we're going to end Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube right now. Click. And so I'm just on the radio, and I can play this on the way out. Munster Chamber